Does the idea of packing to fly with your kids completely stress you out? I get it. I've been there. I've been flying multiple times a year with my kids for 13 years, so I think I finally figured out a really great packing system to stay organized and make me feel a little less stressed as I begin my packing and planning for our trip. If you want some really practical, not overwhelming, simple packing tips for flying with kids, you're in the right place. If you're new here, hi, my name is Meg. I am a lifestyle, beauty, and travel creator here on YouTube. I do a lot of different videos. I have a lot of different interests. A lot of you guys have found me through my flying with kids videos because I like to give really simple tips, not overwhelming them. And I've broken today's video up into 4 parts. We're going to be talking about our lists, how to prep, how to pack, and then at the end of the video, I have a few different items you may want to consider grabbing as you prep to travel with your kids. This is not a gear-heavy video, but I do have a few suggestions at the end of the video. The first biggest tip out of this whole video, if you do not take anything else from this video, I want you to take this first tip. And I want you to start a perpetual packing list. This is a list that lives in your phone. It is not on paper. It is something that you can edit if you need to. I like to use the Reminders app, and I've built a template that I call my packing list. I have it divided into categories, and it makes my life so much easier when I begin the packing process. Maybe you have a trip coming up and you want to start your perpetual packing list. Start it then. It will take some brain power initially, but the more times you travel, the more you can add to this perpetual packing list to finesse it to your needs. This can go for whatever kind of travel that you have going on. My list has everything that I typically pack and travel with every vacation. I'll delete some of the things off of it. Sometimes I don't need to bring a laptop or my bigger camera, or sometimes I don't need to bring my hair dryer. So I delete the stuff off of this list that I know I'm not going to need. But the idea is to build this list thinking of every possible thing you could possibly ever need. When I want to start a new packing list for my upcoming trip, I start a new list and I use the packing list template as a starting point. This saves so much of my brain power. If you're like me and you're hate having to re-come up with this packing list every single time you pack, this is going to change your life. I'm not exaggerating. It's changed mine. Do not check off your items on your packing list until they are physically packed in your bag. I've done this before where I've checked something off and I'm like, yeah, I got this, and I did not put it in my bag. I didn't put it in there. That was my whole tirade about the first list. The second list is a much simpler list. It is your day of travel list. It is items that you're gonna grab as you're on your way out the door. For me, this looks like charging cords, my water bottle, the kids' shoes, making sure the kids have the stuff in their carry-ons, just that kind of stuff that are not going in the suitcases already packed up the night before. So this is your day of list. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, oh, I forgot the kids' charging cords, or we forgot this battery pack, or blah, blah, blah. That's your second list. It could even be things like, don't forget to close the blinds or lock these doors or whatever. It can be anything that's like in your mind that you're gonna spiral about if you don't put it out there. If you're gonna spiral about something, put it on your day of travel list, okay? That's your second list. And then your third list is not really a list. It is your itinerary of your trip, because this is gonna help you pack all of the things that you're gonna need for yourself and your kids. It does not have to be detailed. It could be literally like day 1 airport, and you're gonna write what everyone's wearing. Day 2, we're gonna wear the black, red, and white outfits. I'm not planning my husband. He can figure it out himself. I'll tell him what colors to wear, but this is what we're wearing. This is so you do not overpack the clothes. I am the first to admit that I used to overpack so much, but when I started writing out every single thing that I was gonna wear on what day, it made my life so much easier. And then to make myself feel a little bit more comfortable that I didn't forget anything, I allow myself like 1 extra outfit that's like a backup. And I can do that for myself and my kids. So those are your 3 lists: your perpetual packing list, your day of travel list, and your itinerary. Make it as simple or as complex as your brain wants. Doing all this before makes everything else so much easier. So if you do not do this, the rest of what I'm gonna tell you is you're just gonna be complicating it even more. Let's get into the second part of this video, which is all of the prep work that you're gonna do before you travel. The prep is the conceptualizing, okay, I'm gonna start setting this out, I'm gonna set this out. This isn't where we've actually physically physically put things in the suitcase yet. This is us setting things out, setting things aside, mental notes, putting things on a list when we think of it. The first thing that I like to do is make sure that I start packing a little bit earlier than I anticipated, because if I'm packing the night before, I'm always stressed. I did this the last trip we went on, and I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I wait till the last day? I just thought it was a simple weekend trip, but it ended up stressing me out. Never again. I'm gonna do it a few days, a week in advance, especially if it's like a very long trip. Like we've left for an entire month before. I've had to think about packing for an entire month for myself and 3 kids. I started that process a week in advance. As I am using items in my daily life and I think, oh, this is gonna be really great for this trip, I either write it on my packing list or I'm gonna set it aside so I can put it in the suitcase. For me personally, so I do not overpack makeup. This is just like a personal note. As I'm doing my makeup, I pack what I'm using. I'm cleaning my makeup brushes as I'm putting my makeup on and setting it aside, and so it's ready to go. I also like to visualize by laying things out before they go in the suitcase. I want to take a look at it and see, oh, this kid has way too many things. This kid doesn't have enough. So I can edit, I can take things away, I can add things to it if I forgot something. So laying things out, visualizing it is part of your prep process. You want to make sure that you're packing based on whether or not you're carrying on or checking, or a combination of both. A lot of times we pack our 3 kids into one checked bag and just check it. But if it's a situation where we need to pack light, we got to think about how to pare things down and what's going to go in what bag. I know that's kind of a no-brainer. Now we've gotten to step 3 of this video, which is the actual packing part of the video. You know how to pack a bag, so I'm not going to be like, put this in first, put this in second. Like literally just do what works for you. But one thing you might consider is packing half of the clothes that you think you're going to need if you have access to laundry. So for us, when we stayed in Boston for the month, I packed a week and a half's worth of clothes for everyone and washed it over and over until we left, because that made the most sense without us having to overdo it with the packing. I've done that before on multiple trips where we pack half of what we need and rewear it. That's up to you. That's completely based on where you're going. One other thing, especially if you have kids, and this is highly dependent on their ages, because I have a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 5-year-old. And the 2 girls, my 2 oldest girls, I kind of treat them a little differently than the 5-year-old. The 5-year-old's a little bit immature, so he needs a little bit more hand-holding. The girls, I make them responsible for certain things that they need to take care of. That's like packing their toiletry bag. I also tell them they're responsible for their carry-ons. This is for the older kids. So don't let that all rest on your shoulders. That's the essential part of packing that you gotta let go of. The only thing we have left is the 4th part of this video, is what I told you was a couple of item suggestions that's gonna make your life a little bit easier when you're packing. I'm definitely not the type of person that's gonna be like, you need this, you need this, you need this. When you carry on with your kids, they need these crayons, these games. We keep it simple. My kids are at the ages where they bring their iPad or iPhone or whatever, and they're watching movies and hanging out and eating snacks. That's really it. We're gonna travel to Europe this summer. I'm gonna have to figure out some other things that we're gonna bring in our carry-on for that, so stay tuned. I'm gonna have another video as I pack for that. But here's some suggestions for items that have been super helpful for us throughout the years of us traveling with our kids. I've talked about this first item literally every video that I've made about travel, but I'm gonna say it again because they truly saved my life. And they're the compression bags, the travel compression bags. I have 2 different brands now. I've been using this one since like 2018 and they still hold up. And then this one I recently bought, and these have been really great as well. So the idea behind these, they're different sizes, is that you put your clothes in there and then you roll them to get all of their air out of it as a way to compress down everything and save space in your bag. These space saver compression bags are so helpful. I don't use packing cubes. This is basically my packing cube because they also can double as laundry bags. When the kids have worn something, it goes right back into this, and when we get home, we dump these into the washing machine. I'm gonna continue to recommend these forever and ever, amen. The second thing I wanna mention is I put my girls in charge of packing their own toiletry bag. I have one toiletry bag that I use for all 3 kids, and it is this hanging toiletry bag in the medium size. So it comes in 2 different sizes. This is the medium size. I have the large size for myself. This fits all 3 kids' stuff in there just fine. And if they want anything extra that doesn't fit in here, they're responsible to put that in their bag or their carry-on or whatever. But I can get their toothbrushes, the hair stuff, face wash, makeup remover, things like that in there for the kids. This is a very, very helpful bag, and it hangs, so it saves counter space. It's really easy to travel with. I've recommended these water bottles quite a bit too. These are the Owala water bottles. They are leak proof, so they have a straw in them. So you fill it up and then you can sip it like a straw and have it closed, has a little carrying handle. My kids have these. This is mine. I travel with this every single time I fly because I add a bunch of ice to it. I've shared this tip before. I add all my ice and then I go through security and then I add the water in it after I get through security, because did you know ice does not count as a liquid? And I've done this multiple times, so don't tell me you can't do it, because I do it all the time. Don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. This is so helpful. This is a luggage scale. If you are checking bags, things can get heavy real fast when you're traveling with kids. Kids have so much crap, especially babies. Why do the babies have so much crap? Anyway, buy yourself a luggage scale, throw it in your backpack and travel with it. So not only before you leave, you're weighing all of your bags that you're gonna check, you're also got this with you. So when you repack on your way home, you know you're underweight with everything and you're not having to figure it out and take stuff out of your bag once you're at the airport. Of course, I'm linking all this stuff below as I'm talking about it. And then finally, do not leave for a flight with children without headphones. These are some JBL ones. We have 2 of these for my son and one of my daughters. They're wireless Bluetooth, work great. They hold a charge forever. The thing is, nowadays, you basically can't get away without headphones on an airplane, because I've seen this multiple times where flight attendants will ask parents to put headphones on the kids because these games and stuff that they're playing are really loud. So for your sake, the sake of people around you, buy some headphones. That's all of the gear that I want to mention. My very last tip before I stop yapping is that don't stress too much over whether or not you forgot something. Just don't. Just stop. There are places where you can shop and buy something if you forget something. I know this varies based on your location, but luckily we have all sorts of stuff that are at our fingertips if you're traveling within the US. Give yourself some grace. We're not perfect. We're gonna forget things. One time I forgot my freaking driver's license when I was flying. I'm not perfect, clearly. I know flying with kids can be stressful, but hopefully this makes the packing situation and the prep before you get to the airport a little less stressful. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video.